Japanese food is a mixture of nourishment and display, so that a raw and still-moving lobster is a great delicacy. The look is even more important than the taste. The arrangement of a formal room for entertaining includes strategy for self-defense. A samurai host could never be certain that he could trust his guest.
Usually the guests sit over there, so you sit over there. Thank you. I'm a Japanese.
The host now sits where, in more dangerous days, the guest used to sit. It was an act of folly to sit with your back to the paper-screened doorway.
Welcome to Japan. Senpai once more.
Thank you, Senpai.
The screens that surrounded the host concealed his bodyguard, who could burst in to defend their master. Though in ordinary life the Japanese no longer take such precautions, there are still some who think it necessary.
I found several differences, between the Western martial arts and Japanese or the Eastern martial arts.
Yeah.
One thing is, in the West there's a boxing and wrestling. There's the weaving and ducking and the jumping. And in Japan, all of the martial arts like judo, kendo, or karate, aikido, the movement is the head never move and walk like this. The steps like this.
Tsugiyashi.
It's tsugiyashi.
Yeah.
And in the Western, there's a jumping, you see. And I wonder why there's a difference between the two. And this is because the Japanese was basically the agricultural nation. In agriculture, when you have these things and to put the soil down, and we move in this case 1, 2. Never walk like this. And all the martial arts movements, as well as the kabuki, is this type of the movement. And against in hunting, then we must run. And we must say, hey, Jim, take that animal, take that. So we run. And this kind of, I think, is the wrestling and the boxing, jumping. And in Japan, never jumping, the head never moves. But I think there's a basic, the motive of the martial arts in the two different ways.
Master Koguri has achieved such command of the Tamiki style of Aikido that he is able to demonstrate the effectiveness of the art at great speed. He uses techniques taught only to advanced students, applying painful locks, chokes, and pressure to the nerves.
In fighting, the timing when I attack you is when you're breathing, like, and when you're breathing, I hit you. But in Japanese, between the Japanese fighting, I can easily get the breathing timings. But the foreigners find always the breathing out is more. So it is very difficult to find his breathing in. And I wonder why. Then somebody told me this is because of the language. Like English accent is always pushing out, like, fine, okay, yes, let's go, no. Right? Japanese is breathing in. いいわ、ジムさん。そう。And always think about the enemies. Suddenly, if somebody attacks from here, then I have to stand up. And I have to stand and to fight, you see. And therefore, I can't sit like this. I must always move, you see.
Yes.
And if I sit down like this, and stamp, and with the knees.
Yes.
And always right knees up because my sword is here.
Yes.
And so, therefore, the posture is eyes arrangement, and these type of things are very much important in Japanese, even in ordinary life.
Aikido is very popular amongst Japanese university students. It's practiced enthusiastically and thoroughly by large numbers of them. This is a typical class from Bushido University.
Go! Look! Sit! Hut! Kyo! Jo!
When the students' bodies are supple and warm, they move on to practicing the basic movements of Aikido. The idea of moving calmly and rotating the arms in circles to defend oneself originated in China. There also, the fighters had a profound understanding of the joints, muscles, and vital points of the body, and developed ways of throwing or paralyzing an attacker. For centuries in Japan, too, these principles of soft or internal martial arts have been used in combat training. In modern Aikido, the dangerous techniques have been eliminated, but the mental approach remains the same. One of Jim Elkin's friends in Japan was Master Oba, a master of Aikido, and also a master of Judo and many weapons systems. He is over 70, but he still teaches actively in several universities. In his long life, he has been awarded a total of 38 dans, the highest number ever earned by a Japanese individual. His life has been devoted to the fighting arts, especially as a teacher of university students. He thinks that sport is an essential part of training.
侍が武道をやると精神が非常に鍛えられるというのは、昔戦場に行って命のやり取りの場において自分のやったためです。それを今日においてその精神を鍛えようとするとすれば、やはりスポーツの場でやらせないとダメなんですね。だから昔の戦場に代わる現代ではスポーツの場で精神を鍛えるというそういう考え方が古武道の現代化。
Aikido was not changed instantly from a martial art to a sport. In between is the classical Aikido, still practiced and still important. When a fighting art is developed for sporting purposes, there are gains, but also certain qualities are lost. The older systems prepared exercises take the time to be more complex and elegant. The very complicated holds work like chess moves. Each grip is a counter to the last. They are practiced so that one person performs the winning moves. Two masters fighting together would use these techniques until one of them achieved a move that the other couldn't counter. Like many Japanese systems, Aikido, even practiced as a sport, aims to cultivate the mind and spirit as well as the body. By repeating the moves in a classical manner, the girls can concentrate on perfecting their actions. The effectiveness of these throws and locks is secondary to the aim of performing them perfectly.
なかなかその心を現代に生かそうとすることが難しいようです。それでその心の方を鍛えるためにはどうしても競技の場から若い人たちに心を持たせること、これが現代の競技になるだろうと思うんですね。
All Aikido is based on the same principles, but the sporting style is simpler. It's more direct